Now, on the very day where the president was supposed to celebrate his 100 or mark his 100 days in office, it was the same day that the tribunal gave the Presidential Election Petitions Court gave its verdict on the petitions filed by opposition parties. And so that sort of clouded that celebration or marking by the presidency. Now, it was September the 6th. It marked exactly 100 days of the president being sworn in as Nigeria's fifth president in the Fourth Republic. Right from the podium, while delivering his inaugural speech, the former Lagos governor sent a clear message to Nigerians that suggested it will not be business as usual. From the thorny issue of petrol subsidy and the decision to unify the various foreign exchange rates in the country, President Tinubu made it clear that he was on a mission to steer the economy towards a growth path and wean it off perennial bottlenecks. Welcome to Standpoint. I am Precious Amayo. Now, however, while some of the policies have been welcomed and have excited the financial markets and investors, they have also been greeted with attendant challenges, including spiraling inflation, increased poverty level, and job losses. Now, one area in which the Tinubu-led administration has been severely criticized is its inability to structure on time measures and palliatives to ease the pains suffered by Nigerians due to the removal of the fuel subsidy. The sudden fuel subsidy removal has caused untold hardship as Nigerians now grapple with the challenges of meeting up with not only the high cost of petrol, but also the increase in the prices of goods and services. His recent visit to India, France, the UAE, Kenya, Guinea, as the chief salesman of the country, has also thrown up issues on why investors need to come invest in Nigeria, and also how the lifting or the process of the UAE visa ban on Nigeria was handled. These are some of the issues those who are criticizing the presidency have raised. But we're going to talk about these issues with the member House of Representatives. He represents Mushin Federal Constituency in the House of Reps. He is Constituency 2, Constituency 2. Oluwatoyin Moses Fayinka. Good to have you join us.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
So it's been quite eventful, as it were, in 100 days of the presidency. Some have said it's been a lot of motion without movement. But what's your assessment of the presidency in its 100 days?
Thank you very much. It has been very, very eventful, impactful, and promising. The 100 days of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is evidently clear that he has a vision and is pursuing this vision with a clear, cut-out policies. Honestly, in a short while, we are going to have an enduring environment to live and to work with in Nigeria.
How short is that short while?
Well, this is 100 days. It's like a medical doctor trying to have a surgery on a patient. It could take 1 hour before that surgery is done. And after 1 hour, 2-3 months after to recuperate, and before you know it, after that 4 months, the sickness is gone. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu clearly stated that he was serious, he was ready for this business of governance, and that nobody should pity him. He had done that before. You could recollect when he was there, when he came on board as governor of Lagos State, we had all these heap of refuse virtually everywhere on our streets in Lagos State. And when the thing went away, some of our youth now that were not around could not attest to this, but the we parents that were around then did not even tell them this, but we are all living witnesses to what he did. So 100 days is gone. They've demonstrated how he meant to do the work. And then 2-3 months to this time, the dividend will continue to come to every doorstep of Nigerians.
All right, so 2-3 months to this time, I'm sure we will play this clip again of what you just said and see whether, you were right in your predictions. But I wanted to ask you, you have talked about the president whilst he was the governor of Lagos. And some have said, look, Nigeria is larger, of course, than Lagos, and that it looks like Nigeria it might be a bit difficult for the president to handle. Do you think that the president has set the right tone?
Thank you very much. When he came on board as governor of Lagos State, some people said Lagos State was larger for him to handle, having been at the private sector. But he performed very well, credibly well. So Nigeria couldn't have been much more larger than what Bola Ahmed Tinubu could handle. And you just give him a little time, he will dazzle everyone. Even the critics also say I have cause to applaud him. That much I can assure you.
All right. So I want to talk to you about that very first announcement he made, which was on the fuel subsidy removal. And some said, look, it took too long for something to be done. That first of all, something should have been put in place before the removal of the fuel subsidy. And that perhaps when something wasn't put in place, it shouldn't have taken that long for palliative measures to have also been put in place. How do you respond to that?
Thank you so much. Actually, all the aspirants, all the candidates did say fuel subsidy was going to be removed, including those people that are criticizing him now. Their preferred candidates, they said so. If he had not said so on that first day, some people will still be criticizing him.
So I just want to quickly comment. Most people don't have a problem with the removal of fuel subsidy. They just feel like some things should have been put in place before it is removed, or that whilst it has been removed, the actions, in terms of putting palliatives in place should have been faster than what we're seeing now.
You cannot give what you don't have. He became governor, he became president on the 29th of May. He made that pronouncement. So he has set many things in motion by telling us to guard our loins that first subsidy is gone. While the subsidy was in place, very few Nigerians were benefiting to the detriment of larger Nigeria. And he did say he was going to remove. Mind you, if he had not said so, automatically June, fuel subsidy would have gone. By that time, budget allocation will have fizzled out. And I know Tinubu very well. He will not come to be begging for supplementary budget on fuel subsidy any longer. So he has said it, that is a motion, preparing you ahead of time that it is not going to be business as usual. Fuel subsidy is good. There can never be any gain without pain. That's the hard truth. And then we just have to live with it. People saying he ought to have put things on the table. In what capacity? Would he have done what you did if he had not been the president? Would he have gone to World Bank to borrow to give Nigerians as a palliative? In what capacity? As a private person? So he could do much if he were the president. Now he's the president. He's doing all what he's doing. Let me tell you again, more money is coming to the states. More money is coming to the local government because fuel subsidy has been removed. Meaning that the governors in our various states will have more money to cushion some effect. The local government chairmen that are the closest to the people will have more money to spend in infrastructure development and also to do what is needed to cushion some effect on the population. So if he had not removed that first subsidy, where would he have gotten that money to go? And then he did say he was not going to borrow. I'm in support of that. Live within your means. When must we become a perpetual borrower? It's not the best. Why must we become a perpetual borrower? Moreover, you are not borrowing this money to have an enduring infrastructure that generations yet unborn will benefit from. Why must we borrow money on overhead, to service overhead? It's never heard of. Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not do that. Will not do that. As small as I am, I will not do that. Continue to borrow money to buy food. Continue to borrow money to buy clothes. Not borrowing money to put in a capital or to service capital expenditure. It's not the best. So I think he he has done the best that the Nigeria desire at this critical moment.
Thanks for staying with us. You've been watching Standpoint. We are examining the president's 100 days in office. He's gotten commendation, but he's also gotten knocks. Supporters have said he's done very well in his 100 days in setting the country on the right path. Some have also said, well, it looks like a lot of movement, a lot of motion, rather, without movement. And those are the issues we're looking at, the issues that have defined this presidency in the last 100 days. I've been speaking with a member of the House of Reps. He represents Mushin Federal Constituency 2 in the House of Representatives, Oluwatoyin Moses Fayinka. We're also joined by a PDP chieftain, P.S. Tukumbo. Good to have you join us.
Thank you.
Just before that break, you were making the point about how you feel that this presidency has done well and he couldn't have given what he doesn't have. He needed to act in his capacity as president and not a private citizen. You also mentioned the issue of he said, look, he's not going to borrow, and you support that. But the point I'm trying to make is that as it is today, some Nigerians are yet to get any sort of palliative, even after 100 days in office. So can we say that in that regard, that the president has done well in terms of the swiftness in following through with that promise he made to Nigerians, and look at things will be put in place to cushion the hardship?
Thank you very much. I'm at a loss as what exactly do you mean when you said some of Nigerians have not gotten palliative? Okay, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has released money for that specific to governors and then to the local government chairman. By extension, you are not expected, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to go to River State and be knocking every door, this or palliative. To come to Niger State, this or palliative. To come, he has sent people that are closer in that regards. So if anybody has not gotten, the people that has not gotten to ask questions, to ask their governor. Ask their governor. A father that is going out and drop money for housekeep when he was leaving, it is the children that will ask, Mommy, why have you not eaten? Not waiting for their father to come and be asking all these questions again. So if anybody has not gotten, maybe their state governors are still doing the needful to ensure it gets to the nook and crannies of their federal states. And if they have not done at all, it's a different case. He has even promised the wages are going to be increased. So assuming by Monday, the 18th of September, for instance, announcement is made that the salary of workers has been increased by 1 million. It is now left to the finance officer or the head of the administration to do the needful, to make sure this money gets to the accounts of various workers. The most important thing is that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has volunteered a statement and he has backed it up with action. He did not say, I was going to, he did say the money had been released. And then no governor has ever come to say, in fact, the governor said that
the governors
that they've gotten the money.
At least from the comments we're getting from some of the governors, that they have received 2 billion naira out of the 5 billion naira that was promised. That's the statements that most of the governors are making.
Most. Can you expatiate who are the most? The governor, the president has said 5 billion. You said most of the governor. Most is relative. Can you be specific? Which of the governor had received or reportedly to have said they only received 2 billion naira? Even without considering, if they had received 2 billion out of 5 billion, what has become of that 2 billion? What has become of that billion? The president has signed off. He had released 5 billion. If most, according to you, which I'm putting back to you that you should be so specific, most, the last time I checked, there's no state governor that has most as the governor. They have names, and then there's no most as one of our states of the federation. So we want to be specific. To the best of our knowledge, the president said 5 billion. And then when the governors forum spoke, they did not say most of us had received. They said a lot of us. The governor spoke on their behalf.
It's not all the governors who have spoken about this issue. For those who have spoken, they have said, and they are unanimous in saying they have received 2 billion naira. Now, it is possible that that's what has been disbursed to them. But I'm just saying that out of the 5 billion naira that was promised, they have said they have received 2 billion naira. But let me bring in Mr. P.S. Tokumbo rather into the conversation. I know that PDP is in the opposition and you're a PDP chieftain. People will say that, look, once you're in the opposition, it's difficult to see anything relatively good with the government that is in power. But I just want to get to your honest assessment of this particular administration.
It is true that most people, when they're in opposition, will have nothing good to say about the government in power. I'm not like most people. I've been on your program many times. You know, I try to be as objective, as balanced as possible. Frankly, I know President Tinubu. I knew him long ago. And I truly believe he would have done better than he's doing now. I now realize that there's a difference between the ability to win election and the ability to govern. I'm sorry to say, this president is failing, and I don't see a way forward. He's making serious mistakes. Let me just start with the idea of the palliatives that the Honorable is trying to address. 5 billion to his state. For instance, in Lagos State, it comes to an average of 250 naira per person. People say not everybody is supposed to get palliative, but I want to tell you this right now. In every state in Nigeria, there is probably no more than 10% of people who earn more than 100,000 naira a month. Therefore, all of them need 80% minimum of people in every state needs palliatives. The states that are smaller, for instance, like Ekiti and so on, if you average the 5 billion, that is if they ever get it, it will come to about 950 naira per person. Look, we have to take our criticism, our analysis of issues, the way we try to resolve problems in the country. It has to be done in a more sophisticated way than they're doing it now. Palliatives, by the way, is an insult to the intelligence of Nigerians. We are not a village square. We are a country of 200 million plus. If you want to talk about palliatives, do you know the meaning of palliatives? It is treatment without cure. Look at any dictionary meaning. That word should be expunged from the language of Nigeria. Every aspect of society, of the economy, should have subsidy. In every developed country, in every developing country, every country that wants to advance, take care of its people, you must subsidize education, transportation, health. You must subsidize. That is why petrol price in America is even almost lower than in Nigeria, in spite of the fact that minimum wage, which we can always use to judge. We don't know how much other people are making, but we know majority of the people are making minimum wage. We have to solve the problem of the economy. President Tinubu is doing the best he can with what he has, but he doesn't understand what he needs to do to be able to do better. What I'm saying now is
let's take these issues one after the other, Mr.
Okay.
You've talked about the issue of 5 billion naira not being enough. But some people will say, look, that's why you also have governors, that whatever the president presents, the governors are supposed to act to it. They're not supposed to depend solely, because, I mean, the residents of their states are first their responsibility, that whatever the presidency gives, the social welfare actually should be, part of the structure of any state government.
I agree entirely. And that's one reason why the president cannot be friends with the governors. Our governors today, they have dissipated the possibilities for people in their states. This 5 billion is nothing for the president to even be given to governor, to states. The states should be made to take care of All the state governors have mansions everywhere in the world. Go to their village where they come from. No roads, no water, no electricity, nothing. This is the problem that the president has to address, not giving palliatives. These are my points.
Is it within his powers to address it when you look at the fact that, look, this is the federal system, and governors have their own independence?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But let me tell you again, one of the reasons, that's why I said we have to address our issues in a more sophisticated manner. President Tinubu cannot act as if he's president of a village. He's the president of a large country of over 200 million people. There are so many things that we have to do. One, if you do not restructure Nigeria, we will not make progress in any way. Forget about it. And he has not been addressing that issue. I have said to him many times, public media like this, that look, the 1999 Constitution must be your priority as president to revise in order for you to be able to achieve any progress in this country as president. You don't do that, devolution of power to the states so that they can use their resources and be held accountable by their people. The greatest corruption in this country now is because states can run to the federal government and hide under the federal government and do nothing in their states. All the money they have, security vote, in the billions every month, they take it and they use it for themselves. There's no development. So, President, I'm not opposing President Tinubu for doing this and doing that. I'm just saying he's not doing enough. He's not addressing the issue where it should be addressed. Let me tell you, removing subsidy was a big error. I heard the Honorable saying all of them promised. Everybody tells me that. Yeah, but Atiku Abubakar said he will remove subsidy. True. But he never said he will remove subsidy by fiat, the way this man did it. If you did it that way, you have the same problem.
Is there a better way to remove your subsidy?
There is a better way. Wait a minute. There is a better way because this is not the first time that they're removing subsidy. All governments have removed subsidy gradually. Gradually.
All governments have tried.
No. Every single government has removed subsidy. That's why the price of oil has been going up.
President Goodluck Jonathan tried to remove subsidy, and that did not work. We saw the massive protest, the Occupy Nigeria protest.
That is true.
Buhari
removed subsidy.
Buhari did not remove subsidy until the end of his government.
Wait a minute.
He made provisions for subsidy. Just a minute, Mr. Tukumbo. He made provisions for subsidy even to the end of his term, which was going to end in June. And that's when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, look, he would not continue to pay if it was going to end in June.
Okay, let me address that issue. First and foremost, the reason why Buhari said it went in June, there was something attached to it. That is that by December, the Dangote refinery will begin to produce, and there will be no reason for us to continue with subsidy because the price of petrol will come down. That was what they sold to the National Assembly. And what happened? 1st of June this year, the chairman of NNPCL was on channels such as this, 1st of June, and declared publicly that even with the Dangote refinery on board, even with the Port Harcourt refinery on board, every other refinery on board, the price of petrol will not come down. And we said to the President Tinubu, go to NNPCL and find out what is happening. If you don't go there, you're not achieving anything.
But did the federal government categorically say that, look, they are depending on the Dangote refinery and that the fuel price was going to be crushed?
I just quoted to you now, 1st of June. You want me to tell you the station it was on? It was on China's TV, 1st of June, 2023, saying that. Now, the refinery, look, the point I'm making is, the president of Nigeria in 2023 must be more sophisticated, more direct in what he's doing, understand the issues in a larger manner than we're doing it now. Forget about palliatives. Let me tell you, you remove oil subsidy, you crash the economy. Right now, the economy is at the lowest level it's ever been in the history of Nigeria. 28% to 29% of reduction in consumption of oil. Let me tell you what the Chinese say about oil. If you want to develop your economy, you build roads. You create opportunity for movement, for transportation. What has this oil subsidy removal done? It has crashed transportation. Go to the streets of Lagos now. No more hold up. People are not moving. Economy, individuals are suffering because of inflation. Companies are folding up because of cost of production is gone high. Cost of electricity, 40% tariff increase. Petrol is gone up by over 300%. How can you produce? Who are you going to sell to? Unemployment is going through the roof. So what are we talking about?
Right,
100 days has been a disaster. Simple as that.
In just a moment. But I also wanted to ask you, because you talked about how the economy has not, not been worse than this in how you described it. But I wanted to ask, because even when the fuel subsidy was removed, we saw how the stock market responded to it. We saw how investors responded to it. We saw how the international community responded to it. It felt like good news. The stock market was excited. So at what point would you say, what are the indices to say that, look, the economy did not respond well?
Yes, let me respond. A lot of our leaders listen to international advice at the expense of their own people. That's why there are coups in various countries now. That's why we are discontented in Nigeria. I'll tell you why. One, how do you judge the economy? Cost of living. Okay? Cost of living. If it is manageable based on the amount of money you make, salaries, then you know you are living comfortably. The economy is good. Inflation is at the highest level now. Cost of food, cost of transportation, cost of health, cost of education. Education, increase in school fees and tuition and so on. So when you have all those costs, people are suffering, okay? That is a weak economy. How do you judge the economy? What is the rate of the naira to the dollar? That's how you know. Forget about what the stock market, all those things are manipulated. I'm telling you realities of economics. Now, the dollar was 450 in the bank when Tinubu took over. Now it's 750. In the black market, it was 850. Now it's 900. That's how you know the economy is in trouble. Secondly, foreign companies are leaving Nigeria by the droves because of cost of production. In other words, if diesel is gone up, if petrol is gone up, if electricity is gone up, production has to crash. That is how you judge the economy.
And which of those foreign companies can you categorically say have left the country because of this?
There's so many. There's so many. I don't have to quote any. Look. If you know economics 101, the minute cost of production goes up, what happens? Everything becomes more expensive. They begin to lay people off. Unemployment is the highest in Nigeria now as it's ever been. One of the things,
but that's not by the statistics that was reviewed, that was put out soon. But I will let you land.
That was put out soon.
They were put out recently. The statistics that were put out recently did reduce the level of unemployment in the country. But I want him to. Sure. I mean, he's here. He's a member of the APC. He can respond to you. I know that you've been following what Mr. Pierce has said so far. How do you respond? Because this is how some Nigerians actually feel. That look, you can quote all the statistics you want, you can quote all the figures you want. If the cost of living is hard for them, they don't think the economy is doing well. And really, Nigerians, it is really biting hard on Nigerians.
Thank you very much. I salute the courage of my big brother. He has proceeded, but there is conflict in his position. He started by saying, Bola Tinubu, as a president, is failing. There's a difference between winning an election and government. In the middle of his speech, he said President Tinubu is trying his best, but his best is not enough. So how do we marry these two is another thing. He has presented some statistics. I'm not a statistician. Maybe he sees. So then the accuracy of all those figures bandited is another job for the renowned statistician to tell us. You did ask again, how many of these companies that are folding up? Because he was so sure that companies are folding up. They are going in drones. That was the language. When you ask how many of them, he said he cannot tell us.
But he wasn't wrong on the electricity tariff.
I'm coming.
He wasn't wrong on electricity tariff. He wasn't wrong on transportation. He wasn't wrong on cost of living.
Electricity tariff is different from companies have folding up. I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no. But when we come on here, we should be able to assert accurately. So let me now start by saying, he said palliative should be expunged from a dictionary. He did mention about Economy 101. The palliative, the money, the 5 billion are being given, is what the economists term as autonomous income. It does not form part of their real income. The state's monthly allocation is not stopped. It's not affected by this 5 billion. Their monthly IGR is not stopped and it's not affected. This one is addendum to their real income. It's what economists will call autonomous income. So it is an added advantage for them to actually see so. So if anybody is saying palliative is not good, he did say again that virtually everybody needs palliative, and he said we should be expunged. I will advise anybody that is giving palliative, if he or she does not find it desirable for him, he or she could turn it.
He did not say, so he is not, hold on, just a minute, let me,
I want you
to respond.
He said palliative. Do you know the meaning of palliative?
Just hold on. But he also now said, hold on.
If it is going to be
I want you to respond.
That means not desirable.
So I want you to, just hold on. Because he did not say,
I've not finished my point.
I will let you finish. I want you to respond to this. He said it is an insult to Nigerians. Now, he also said it needs to be expanded, that this is not enough. It is not, because it doesn't capture.
The insult is not enough.
Hold on. That the palliative is not enough. It needs to capture everybody. That virtually almost everyone needs palliative.
It should be subsidy, not palliative.
He said it should be subsidy.
Now
that it should be health. He said that health subsidy, transportation subsidy, education subsidy. He did mention that.
Thank you very much. If every sector needs to be subsidized, and then we have found out that in oil sector, very few are being the beneficiaries perpetually. What is big deal in removing that subsidy and then channel it to where it will capture larger society? Why?
That's a mistake.
I'm coming, sir. I'm coming. We like rhetorics in this part of the country. And unless we play down certificated knowledge and embrace skilled knowledge, we might not get anywhere in this part of the world. We have to think outside the box. Subsidy on oil has been removed. That is what he said. He has never said subsidy all over. And I did say every candidate of political party, including but not limited to PDP candidates, Atiku, said he even said he was going to sell. Are you getting me? So everybody has an agenda. President Tinubu did promise that he was going to remove all subsidy, and then he has said so. On 1999, considering that he said it has been a problem, how many times have he come up with a single phrase of any of the clauses in the Constitution of Nigeria to be amended? So we want president to start governance and then be thinking of which of the sections. We owe that duty. Before I am at National Assembly, honestly, I've had it at the back of my mind that this and this will be, and I've even sponsored some through some people, that this section of Nigerian Constitution need to be expunged and amended. How many of us have done that? It is not by sitting down and be saying Nigerian Constitution is bad. If it is bad, have you come up with the good one for us to see? Have you made an attempt? Honestly, it is very good for a spectator or even people on the sideline or the dressing room to be castigating player. You didn't play it well. When they are on board, they become worse.
Do you have to be in office to be a player? Every Nigerian is a player.
Very good. That's
what democracy is about.
Every Nigerian is a player. But if you play your own part, concern is bad, come up with your own. Military came, they gave us bad document. You that is not military, you that is egghead, what are the documents you are bringing forth?
So I want to take a break.
I'm coming.
I want to take a break. When we return, you would wrap in a minute, and then I will let Mr. Pierce also respond to you in a minute so that we can move on to other issues. I mean, the president has done more than this. All right, let's take a break. You're watching Standpoint. When we return, the conversation will continue. And thanks for staying with us. You're watching Standpoint. We're analyzing the 100 days of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in office. We've been talking about his economic policies, especially as it has to do with the removal of fuel subsidy and how he has responded so far. We've been speaking with the member representing Mushin Federal Constituency 2 in the House of Representatives, Oluwatoyin Moses Fayinka. We've also been speaking with the PDP chieftain, Dr. Pierce Tokumbo. Thank you both for staying with us. I'm just going to, before we move on to the diplomatic strides of the president, there's a lot to talk about the 100 days, whether it was the time he took to, the president to put his cabinet together, some policies here and there, and then, but two of the biggest issues are the fuel subsidy removal and his diplomatic strides. But I want to let you wrap up on your thought in a minute before we move on to the other issues.
So I was trying to emphasize that palliative is a form of, before the big one comes, do with this to ameliorate suffering. It's like you are cooking in the house and then the children are hungry. You could actually give them little things. Eat this while the food is ready. It's better than, can't you see I'm cooking? That is a good parent. He has sent this one out to them that much more better things are coming. Sir, ma, the big elephant in the room is this fuel subsidy. I need to go, and it's gone. President has said this without missing word. It has gone forever. Definitely, this kind of reaction will come. Very many people that are complaining are not the one complaining. The real beneficiary of this that have refused to rechannel the proceed into local economy are the one feeling the pain. Right. So the big elephant in the room has been removed.
I did say a minute.
The gain will come. We are facing the pain. I feel the pain of Nigerians. No doubt about that. But let us persevere.
This is essentially where the problem is. President Tinubu and his people like him don't understand where the problem is. One, you said when they remove subsidy, the people who were benefiting from subsidy are the ones that are suffering. It is we who are benefiting from subsidy, were we not? Paying lower than we are paying now. So who will benefit from? It was those corrupt cartel that was stealing the subsidy money, but we are the ones suffering. Let me tell you what happened. After this subsidy was removed, the cartel, the marketers went to visit President Tinubu and they thanked him. They were happy he removed the subsidy. Why? The subsidy they were being paid by government is being paid by us, the consumers, now. Because they are not losing anything. We are the ones paying more money for petrol. They are not losing money on what they were selling petrol before. This is the problem that you don't understand. Let's get that straight. We are the ones that are supposed to be benefiting. The consumer is the one supposed to be benefiting from subsidy. So we were benefiting, paying 185 naira per liter. Now we are paying 600. Come on. We are the ones suffering. Those people who can never suffer. They make their money. This is what people don't understand. My job, maybe because I'm a teacher, I am telling you this is where the problem is. Secondly.
Yes. And I want to quickly move away from this issue. So I'm just going to move away. But I wanted to say that, look, some have said that these particular monies can then not be used for the larger good of Nigerians.
We will never have enough money from just removing all subsidy.
I mean, we've seen the allocation that has gone. The allocation that has gone to states have increased in the past few months. At least we saw that. And shouldn't that be some of the benefits that these state governments can now use it to develop their different states instead of the monies going into certain pockets?
The money that was going to states for development has always been more than enough. It has always been abused by the government.
And then they say some states are not viable.
Yeah, well, they're not because they're not raising any money, but they're getting money from the federation account. Everybody's getting money. That's why we talk about the other issue you raised, which is of concern to me. We have not been contributing to how we review the Constitution. No, we have. That's why we were promoting restructuring. Restructuring the Constitution is what will solve the problem in Nigeria. Therefore, listen, you devolve power to the states so that the states have access to the mineral resources to develop their states, as they have in the United States. All the structures we are borrowing from abroad.
All right,
This
no,
is
I want to leave. Hold on. I want to leave this conversation here because I really want to move to the diplomatic strides. And I want to ask you, some have said how the president became the ECOWAS chairman of ECOWAS heads of state and government is unprecedented. It's never happened before that less than 45 days of a president in office, you know, and his first term is made the ECOWAS chairman of heads of state and government. But some people say, look, it's been a distraction, you know, from focusing on the real issues in the country. How do you respond to all of the bilateral relations that they have termed economic diplomacy of the president, whether it's a visit to France, to Kenya, Guinea, whether it's to India, also of recent, and the UAE?
Thank you very much. That is how we are in this part of the world. If President Tinubu becomes the world leader tomorrow, some people will still criticize him for the sake of it, so that people will say, yes, you have done well, you are criticizing him. He did not make himself the headship of the ECOWAS. They gave it to him because of his track record. That one should be a plus to us. So anybody criticizing should come up to say, these are my reasons. Anybody saying it's a distraction, you cannot shave my head in my absence. Tinubu is not a small man. You know what is good for him. If it's a distraction, he will tell you it's a distraction. He has not said so. He took that position with happiness and in good faith. So those people criticizing should come out and tell the whole world why they think so. They are entitled to that. Secondly, on the issue of this diplomat, he has been to India. The visit to India has been so good. More job is coming. Now, the balance of trade is assured. He has gone to India to canvass, not to go and drink tea, not to go and dance cucumber, purely business. And then in a couple of months to come, we shall all see the benefits of it all.
And so how will you respond to those who have said, look, you should have focused on the local issues first, to deal with them before, you know, all of these trips and trying to get investment?
Thank you very much. That is why people will castigate you, even when you are doing your best. That's what I said, that is how we are in this part of the world. Restructuring. At the time, we had the chance, we had the president that spent so much in assembling people, and then they came up with what's to be done. 6 months after that paper document submitted to him, they could not, even one sentence of it, they could not implement it. The same character that were on board then, that couldn't do it 6-9 months after they have spent so much, and then they have received that document.
But you're forgetting that it was the APC that took over right after.
Before
and that document was also handed over.
Before APC took over, what is the timeline? Must you take... President Tinubu has just 600 days. He has done wonderfully well. 6 months, I sent you to a market. Go and buy me okra. I want to cook. You have not given me the okra. I will not go to bed. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, somebody will not come. I will not say that they didn't give me enough time to cook the okra. When nobody prompted me, it was my readiness that made me to send for that okra. What were they looking for? That is all, by the way. I'm not here to castigate any government.
So I have
what I'm not saying that restructuring does not end there. My big brother comes from a constituency. He has a representative. Forget about whether that person could be PDP, Labour, APC. No. Once we get into that chamber, Party politics has gone.
So
have you drafted anything and hand it over that? Go there
Mr.
on our behalf.
Allow
this
me
is
bring
what we want.
Dr. Pierce into the conversation because we have just a few minutes left and I want him to be able to speak to the diplomatic strides of the president. People have commended him and said perhaps that ECOWAS chairmanship he got, it's some level of belief in his ability to lead the continent out of this quagmire that it is in. And we've also seen the commendation coming from President Biden to him and the push for a meeting with President Biden.
President Tinubu got the chairmanship of ECOWAS. I commend him, but not because of his track record. He has no track record. He just started. He got it because of the power of Nigeria. A Nigerian president is due to be chairman of ECOWAS. It makes sense. Good. I'm happy for him. But what did he do? 60 days after he got the chairmanship, he wanted to declare war on Niger. Big mistake. He's been going to India, going all over the world. Fantastic. That's what the president should do. Well, guess what? Mark my word, it's going to amount to nothing. You know why? Nobody is coming from India, Pakistan, Russia, anywhere to invest in a country where there's no security. Nobody is coming to invest in a country where the economy is in shambles. Where company, you say, can I name any company? Let me tell you, I know companies. I have a friend, a Greek friend who had business here. He had to lay off almost 40% of his staff, withdrew his children from the US back to his country because they couldn't pay the school fees anymore. So therefore, if you don't take care of your home, nobody's coming to invest. So all of that diplomacy is not going to drink tea, but is going to take photographs. That's all he's doing.
But
nobody's coming here unless charity begins at home.
I want to say this, that the president did not declare war on Nigeria because he only has one vote. Hold on, in the ECOWAS. And all of the presidents also were, and they have put the ECOWAS force on a standby. But number two,
the body language is wrong.
Number two, hold on. Number two is that this presidency has said they were able to secure about $14 billion investment from India. And some economists have said, look, that's commendable.
Look. Again, you think I'm a theorist. I'm just, let me tell you. If your country has a problem with security and your economy is so weak and your naira is almost 100 now to $1, you have a problem of investors coming in. Forget about 14 billion. By the way, there's something about Tinubu that bothers me more than anything else, is his ability to use the media to deceive. He used it to get rid of Jonathan. It worked very well. But now I'm seeing the signs
when you
again.
Say get rid of Jonathan, I'd like you to correct
well,
that. Because
the point I'm making is that
I would want us to speak based
media
on
propaganda.
Just Dr. Pierce, just hold on. I would
I
like
withdraw
to
that one. Forget about that.
Thank you. Because people went to the polls and voted.
The media propaganda we're getting now, all sorts of information coming in. This one, that one, 14 billion. Let us see. What does that translate into? Let us see how many companies will come here in the next 12 months.
Okay.
My prediction is if your country is not secured, where they're shooting down military planes and people cannot travel from state to state, and the labor unions are all complaining. That's why they went on strike, to say that we have no faith in this economy.
And just one part of the labor union went on strike, and that's
Which other part didn't go on strike?
The TUC did not go on strike. The TUC refused to go on strike. But let's anchor this conversation.
Let me quickly
respond in like a minute.
Let me quickly say this. If Tinubu is using or had used press for whatever reason to get rid of people, according to you, I'm not aware of.
He withdrew that statement.
We withdrawn that.
He withdrew that statement.
Because political propaganda in a campaign is welcome.
If Tinubu is using press, that means he has faith in press. It's a plus to him. What are Nigerians, including you, doing? Can't you make use of, I'm coming, that Tinubu is making use of press to project himself for whatever reason? It's a plus to Tinubu. He has not taken up arms to project his points. That means the press should even, by your statement, should even by tomorrow, confer on him and honor that as far as this sector is concerned, you have faith in us. That is a plus. I've heard some people saying that during a particular president, when first subsidy was about being removed, you went to reorganize and whatever. That makes him a big man, according to those people propagating that statement. What are they doing now? Why are they not doing the same thing against him?
So we're about to wrap.
So if Tinubu could do all, and again, I'm sorry, you said ECOWAS, that he got it fine, but he did not get it because of his track. According to you, you said he has gotten none. That he got it by the power of Nigeria.
Yes.
We have heard in the past when Nigerian was to be the secretary of United Nations. He didn't get it, so Nigeria didn't have power there.
All right, Mr. Fayinka, I want to anchor the conversation.
And you say Tinubu did not.
I would give Mr. Pierce the last 30 seconds.
ECOWAS is not the same.
I'll give Mr. Pierce the last 30 seconds.
It doesn't matter.
Difference.
Mr. Pierce, last 30 seconds to respond to that, and then we'll end the conversation.
He has the charisma, hence he got it.
Look, locally, there are 3 sectors which any government has to address: security, the economy, and good governance. In my own review, in my own opinion, Tinubu has failed in all 3 in these 100 days. Maybe in the future he will do better, but for now, what I have seen, failure. Security, we are not secured. They are beheading people every day in Southeast. You will say that is the governor's business. It is his government.
Right. So I want to anchor on this.
Security, one.
Because that was done even before he became president. And some
No.
Some will say
today,
that the
right
order has been lifted while he became president.
Right now, in the last 60 days, there have been 3 or 4 beheadings from the Southeast, South. Militia all over the place in the South. This country is not secure. No investor comes here except Lagos. Right. Anyway, look, the economy is in shambles.
I would like to talk
people are suffering.
I would like to talk about
and then governance.
Governance.
The biggest government in Nigeria. How can you have 50 ministers?
You are a Lagosian.
50 ministers and hundreds of
you are a Lagosian of note. God forbid, will anyone be so courageous to go to Saleko and start beheading without the echoes
Mr. Fayinka,
apprehend that person? Who are those beheading?
We need to leave the conversation.
Are you now saying the governor of that state has no duty?
Well, basically,
no, he has a duty. But the buck stops with the president of the country.
Dr. Pierce, thank you. Mr. Fayinka, thank you. A lot to talk about. I wish we had 2 hours for these conversations. It still will not be enough. But thank you to the member representing Mushin Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Mr. Oluwatoyin Moses Fayinka. Thank you for talking to us. And his big brother, he's been calling you big brother in the conversation since PDP chieftain, Dr. Pierce Tukumba. Thank you for coming. Already been watching Standpoint. We have to go, but remember that you can catch a repeat broadcast of this program at 11 p.m. tonight and 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. I am Precious Amayo.